Thank you to WeWork for providing the studio to record this podcast. And what's wonderful about WeWork is it's a platform dedicated to businesses of all sizes, provides community, which is what we're talking about, space and services to help others thrive. And you can learn more at their website, we.co/podcastdetroit. I always like to start with this question and idea of labels. I'd be curious for you to kind of throw out some labels that you've had placed on you or you yourself identify with.
There's so many because I think we're a society that loves to label and prejudge people. We want to put people in boxes. We want to put life in boxes because it's easier to process and it's easier to move forward instead of having to deal with the present reality. It's very interesting how, you don't really realize how simple one word can begin to define you because you just think it's a word, but it's amazing how it can be ingrained into the fabric of who you are. So I think for me, being a person, I would say sensitive is one. I'm definitely a feeler. I would say I'm definitely spiritual. I can just walk into a room and just sense things in people in different ways. Sometimes I think in our society, if you're sensitive, then it means you're weak. So I think that kind of got tied into sensitivity instead of strength, which would have been awesome if someone had said that differently when I was younger. As with most people, the day is, I know what I have to do, so everybody get out of my way. God, actually, if you could just step aside, I got stuff I'll do. I'll see you later in the day. And God's like, what? Man, no way. I'm with you in this. But I'm with you in a loving way.
Right, and perhaps it's I'll work for you if you let me.
Yes.
And so that to me is the practice of surrendering.
Yes.
Talk to me about surrendering.
Surrender is so hard. Personally, I'll start with myself. It's so easy as a pastor to tell people because a lot of our lives is like telling people what they're supposed to do. I find, for me, it's hard to tell people what to do when you don't do it. So I have to apply first and foremost what I believe God is trying to tell me to do before I tell anyone else. And that's what's difficult. So even in the area of surrender, how do I let go of my flesh in such a way that says I give up my life? What do I think a perfect life is and a successful life? It doesn't mean I don't let go of my dreams, because there's dreams and desires that God's put in us. It's the flesh of what the world is dictating to me. How do I let go of that and say, man, if God wants me to be single my whole life, then it's not a disappointment or success because there's something bigger. And if my life is ultimately not about me, then there's a bigger purpose involved. And so it actually then can excite you when you begin to say, that's not important. I don't need that in my life. Or, man, my flesh really wants this right now, but I know for the future me, this is not going to be healthy for me. I love asking this of people. What do you think of Christians? What do you think of Christianity or God or religion? And it's just so amazing because the majority of things I hear, they're lunatics, they're so combative in the way they want to talk and get in debates, or they're just really depressed or overwhelmed. They're sad. They're serious people. And so that's where I'm I want to help people understand who I believe God really created us to be, that we're excited people, that we're human, that we struggle, but we laugh, we goof off, that we have a great life, because I believe that's what Jesus was.
And if I may expand on that, it's not so much what do you think about Christianity and Christians? It's what do you think about Jews, or what do you think about Russians, or what do you think about Muslims?
Yes.
It's people are so obsessed with creating differences, of segregating, of pushing people out that are not similar looking or sounding or feeling or believing in.
Yes.
And I think that is why I gravitated towards you, is because I felt inclusivity, in that it didn't matter, like me, a non-believer, it didn't matter what I thought. It was my willingness to just show up out of curiosity and looking to connect. And that's all, that was good enough.
Yeah.
Like,
And even beyond that, that if today you were like, no, like, we're not going to be friends anymore because something that I said or something, I would still love you